Real quick nursery update. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear me over the wind, but we're going to give it a shot. It's pretty chilly today, but good working weather in the nursery, and I just wanted to share a little bit about what's going on. I'm at an exciting point here. We're approaching the winter solstice, and I almost have all of my beds of trees emptied out and all the trees healed in for winter storage. For the most part, I'm healing into pots like this, so I'm labeling the pots, filling them up with leaf compost and bundles of trees. These are northern red oak you're looking at here. And I am grading them out a little bit, smaller trees in one pot, larger trees in another pot, so that I kind of know what is what, how many I have of different size trees of different species. Makes it useful for distribution. You know, the larger trees I'll try to move through the nursery to customers, and the smaller ones I'll try to donate, give out to friends and other organizations that do tree planting. Or the smaller trees could actually be potted up or put back into nursery beds next season. But anyway, all inside this fenced-in garden area, I've got these pots, and I am, piling a bunch of mulch around them to help insulate the pots. I'm not really sure how necessary that is. It feels necessary to me. These trees, these persimmons that I have healed into the ground here, you can see they have some mulch on them too. They should be pretty good and insulated with just some mulch and in the ground. But these pots, they stick up above the ground, and I felt like it's important to have some mulch around to help them insulate. It doesn't get that cold out here. We do regularly get into the 20s at night, but in the daytime, we're almost always up into the 40s, 50s, or 60s, with 50s probably being the average, the typical. And, I have some friends about 45, 50 minutes south of here in a slightly warmer microclimate that they don't do any mulch around their pots, and they seem to be fine overwintering trees in these large pots. I don't know about smaller ones, but these large size pots seem to work without mulch in a little bit warmer climate. Since I'm a little bit colder here, this microclimate that I'm in, it feels important to mulch them. But anyway, we're getting to a point where all the beds are almost empty. I am still able to be distributing orders right now this time of year. We'll see if that slows down in January or not. So the beds are almost all empty. I have about 4 of these air pruning boxes left to empty. There's 2 big ones here, black walnut one here, but most of them are emptied. I've got a bunch of them planted. Some of these bigger ones I'm going to need to take apart, empty the soil, and repair some of them, as I've mentioned in other videos, but they'll get planted out early January. I've got one of these last beds here. This one's really weedy, but it's a good example of what these air pruning beds can do. Real quick, I do want to mention I still have many in-ground beds of trees that I need to dig up. So I've got a lot of black walnuts and oaks and maples in the ground. That'll be January, February work, I imagine. In this one weedy bed, okay, it didn't have a ton of soil, right? This is about where the soil level was. Didn't have a ton of soil. Very weedy, as you can see. And I pulled almost 300 willow oak out of just that one little strip. Now, they're not very big. Okay, they're averaging 6 inches to a foot tall, maybe. Pretty skinny, but long root systems. A little bit smaller than I would like for trees to be to distribute through the nursery, but as far as getting these trees out into the landscape through donations, these trees are certainly field ready. They could go into the ground and grow to be magnificent trees. They're totally ready to be transplanted. And all that came from a 3-foot by 6-inch piece of bed right there. I mean, it's tremendous amount of productivity. Now, if I had weeded better and maybe given them a little more spacing, the trees would probably be larger in their first season, making them a little more desirable. But like I said, these will transplant fine. I'll get them out into the world to folks. Some of them I might pot up and grow for another season or something like that. But overall, very exciting. The potential, again, of these air pruning beds or just growing trees in a nursery setting. A very small amount of space can produce a silly number of trees. They're also really good at taking care of eliminating grass and other vegetation that you don't want. You can see this is where a bed was. It's now nice, loose, bare ground that I can plant into. It's very dry. It hasn't been getting much water. If you're still with me at this point in the video, I appreciate you bearing with me on the audio there. I did try to include captions in this video, so hopefully that helps make up for the wind cutting out a lot of my voice. But anyway, that's a look at what was going on in the nursery back in December. the time I'm making this video, it's January now, so things look a little bit different, but I'm trying to get this video out. It's been exciting to move all the trees that I was able to move at the end of 2023 there. I've still got some trees to move here in early 2024 and still some seed work to do and a little bit of digging to do. Check out all the fungal activity in this one black walnut bed. Pretty cool looking. But yeah, it's been exciting. It's a little snapshot of what's going on and definitely more to come. So thanks for sticking with me. I'd love to hear from you if you're doing similar stuff, and happy growing.